Hello YouTube family, welcome back to Simz Vidz for another video. I am Simone. Before we get into this video, I would love for you to subscribe. Please push that subscribe button, please. And like, share, and comment. My business page on Instagram at sateri__. I will put this information in the description box. So today's video is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but at the time when I wanted to talk about it, I didn't have a platform. Now I have a platform, and you better believe. So I'm going to review 2 movies. And the first movie is Drumline. And the second movie is a sequel to it, which is Drumline, A New Beat. Now, I realize that both of these movies are fairly dated. But as I said, at the time when I seen them, I didn't have a platform. So we're going to talk about it now. Let's start with Drumline. So Drumline is actually I personally liked it. I really did, because I like movies like that. Here you had a young, very ambitious, driven young man that knew what he wanted. He wanted to be on his college marching band, and he was a phenomenal drummer. Through hard work and drama, he eventually got there. Now, they did say that this was a comedy drama movie. Yeah, there was bits of comedy, but I found more it was a romantic drama type of movie. Now, Drumline is 23 years old, and I've personally watched it a couple of times. When I like a movie, I like a movie. I can watch it like numerous times, and even though I know what's going to happen, I don't get tired of it. So I did appreciate Drumline for what it was, and yeah, as I said, I really did enjoy it. Now, Drumline, A New Beat. Now, before I move on to Drumline, A New Beat, Drumline was released in 2002. So yeah, 23 years. Drumline, A New Beat is 11 years old. It was it was released in 2014. Now, my whole thing is, if Drumline was released in 2002, why would you wait 12 years to release a sequel to a movie? Yeah, it's giving, let's do something with this movie because it was received well. Do I think Drumline needed a sequel? No. Now this is my honest opinion, my personal opinion. I personally think that they should have just stopped at Drumline. Now, I have a problem with Drumline, A New Beat. And this is my problem. Upon creating this movie, Nick Cannon, who is an executive producer on this movie, apparently went, I'm not going to say where, but went somewhere. And I guess one of the characters that they had in mind, they kind of figured out where this person lived, and he went there. Now, I don't know if Nick Cannon and one of the characters that they, would I say highlight? One of the characters that they mention in the movie, I don't know if they actually had a conversation in terms of where they would be going with this movie. But what I do know is, so for those of you who have seen Drumline, A New Beat, there are two characters that I have a problem with, personally. And that is the character Jimmy Lapierre and Javen Lapierre. Now, they say that this movie is fictional. But my problem is those characters in the movie, they're actually real people. And I actually know Jimmy Lapierre. And how they portray that character, I have a problem with. Why? In the movie, they portray him as an alcoholic and drug user. The real Jimmy Lapierre is not like that at all. In the movie, Jimmy Lapierre doesn't have his stuff together. The real Jimmy Lapierre does. He does. Now, Javen Lapierre, which is Jimmy Lapierre's son in real life. And so it's not only portrayed on screen, it's an actual fact. It's father and son. I personally don't know Javen. However, as I said, I do know his father. Now in the movie, Javen Lapierre is this ambitious, driven drummer that has a problem with his father because of his alcohol and drug use. Now, my thing is, the director on this movie is Black. Nick Cannon is Black. Why would you portray an actual person who you're using, well, their name, you're using in their movie? Why would you portray this person in a negative light? Are we not supposed to be uplifting each other as the Black community? Why would you put a character so opposite to the actual person? That's what I have a problem with. And then what gets me is the name Lapierre. They actually, well, I shouldn't say that they didn't spell it right. They did spell it right. The name Lapierre, they have it together. there's a space in there. The name Javen, they spelt it different from the actual Javen. Javen is not at all a college student. And Jimmy LaPierre is not an actual singer. Jimmy LaPierre is an actual, very talented steel panist. Now, as I said, I have a problem with how they portrayed this character. They could have gone in so many different other ways. They didn't have to make him so negative in the movie. They could have had Jimmy LaPierre as a supporting father that supports his son's dreams in becoming the drummer that he aspires to be. They could have also did where they have some sort of family dynamics where the character Javen had to go through a whole bunch of stuff in order to get to the college that he ended up with and eventually got on the Drumline. They could I could come up with so many other scenarios that they could have portrayed this man in, but the way how they portrayed him, I have a problem with. I'm sorry, I do. A lot of people talk about Tyler Perry, that he's always making these movies about angry Black women. To be honest with you, I don't see it that way. I see these movies where I could actually relate to. I do understand why people would say that he's always doing movies about angry Black women, but come on, people, the actual reality is some of Tyler Perry's movies are dead on facts. Dead on facts. But this movie, Drumline, The New Beat, I personally think that if they were going to portray someone, they should have portrayed them with respect and dignity and not this negative image. That's what I have a problem with. For you directors out there, when you're making your movies and you're actually taking an actual person and you're trying to portray their character in your movie, my suggestion is clear it with the person first. Because not only did you use the name, the actual name, as I said, Jimmy LaPierre is a real person and Javen LaPierre is a real person. But my thing is, as I said, how they were portrayed in this movie, I disagree with. I really do. And it's because, as I said, I know Jimmy LaPierre. He's nothing like that. Very humble, very welcoming. And to see this movie and how he's been portrayed, I have a problem with. I really do. So, as I said, with these directors, if you're going to use people in your movies, at least portray them in a light that they could be proud of. Now, don't get it twisted. when I actually did see the movie Drumline, A New Beat, and I saw Jimmy, I did say, oh, well, do you know about this movie? He was aware. But you want to know what? He said he knows what he's like. And honestly, that was so humbling to hear. So even though someone was portraying his name in such a negative light, he is so positive and humble. He knows who he is, so he's not going to make it bother him. And honestly, I respected that. Me personally now, I wouldn't be so understanding. I'm going to be honest with you. Call me petty, I would not be understanding. But hats off to the real Jimmy Lapierre. You know who you are. Your family knows who you really are. Your friends know who you are. And honestly, you are appreciated. You are loved. Is an honor knowing who you really are. So with that said, people, I had to get that off of my chest. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.